Do you ever find yourself in that feeling of just feeling just completely stuck and not able to move through lack of clarity or just not knowing how to do something or what to do? Hey, Jay Williams here and welcome to another Pocket Coaching. Now, I'm somebody who is impatient. I'm somebody who has only really known one speed in life, and that is go fast. And that was absolutely true until I started doing ultra marathons. And I'm somebody who's always committed to going bigger, better, growing faster, gaining momentum, constantly wanted to progress, wants to get into the doing, doesn't want to mess about. I just want to move. And sometimes I find myself hitting a wall. I find myself in a place where I'm confronted with this feeling of just being absolutely just stuck. I'm feeling conflict in my body. It's like suffocating for me. I can't actually move and I really want to move, but I lack clarity or I just can't make a decision. And the thing that I've realized is that for most people and all the clients that I work with, the reason they stay stuck is because they're avoiding a decision. They're avoiding getting intimate with the consequence of making that decision. So what tends to happen is when it comes to making a decision, they'll procrastinate, they'll second guess themselves. And the longer this period of time goes on, and it's just as true for them as it is for me sometimes, is we find ourselves getting into a state of overthinking. We get into analysis paralysis. And I want to give you a really solid example of this. Recently, I needed to make a decision in my business. I needed to pick a niche that I was going to drill down to. Now, I'd worked with a lot of different clients, over 2,000 in total, and I could see a specific group of audience that I really aligned to, but there was different subsets within that. And I really kept on telling myself, I'm just not really clear, like which one. And I was like backwards and forwards. And I was able to make a decision. I did everything but make a decision. I was getting on calls with people and talking about this feeling of being stuckness and can't move forward. I would find myself waking up in the morning, just like in the evening, in the middle of the night, thinking about it. It was just consuming my mind constantly. And I would even get on whiteboards and thrash it out. I'd go to Claude, ChatGPT, try and work it out with them. And I just couldn't figure out why I was not able to move forward in this area. And all it really came down to is that I was scared of making a decision. I was scared that I'd make the wrong decision. I was scared that I wouldn't be enough for this specific audience. So there was an element of imposter syndrome coming in. And all of this was leading to all of these negative behaviors, which were costing me time, energy. I was missing out on opportunities because I was too busy being in my emotions, being in my stuckness. And what this really taught me is that being in your stuckness, for most people, is just your way of staying safe. It's your way of staying comfortable. So the question that really came up for me is, okay, Jay, what's really going on? And once I addressed the fears and addressed the imposter syndrome, I knew that what lay at the heart of it is I just need to make a freaking decision. But I realized for most people, making a decision is hard, especially if there's time implications, financial implications, effort implications. And so I applied something that I came up with and learned a number of years back. You know, it's nothing really new or crazy, but the thing that I've learned is you've got to get leverage over your own thinking. And the way you do that is by creating tension. Now, my audience typically respond to a number of different types of tension, but these two really stand out. The first one is you need to get some accountability. There's something magic and powerful that happens when two people make a commitment to each other, an agreement to each other. It creates tension, or what I like to call social tension. So the first thing that you can do to help you to get yourself to make a decision is get someone to hold you account. Whether that be a coach, a mentor, a friend, a peer, just somebody to hold you to account on making that decision by a said time or date. The second thing you can do is set your own deadlines. Give yourself a deadline. If you don't have someone that's going to hold you to account, Set a deadline. I'm going to make a decision by this date and this time, no matter what. Now, there's one bonus one which I'll give you to help you get leverage over your thinking. And this creates some leverage through helping you see the consequence of inaction. So you can ask yourself the question, what has it cost me so far by not making a decision on this thing? And then you can ask another question, what is the benefit to me today of making this decision? And what that's going to help you to do is see what it's already cost you and how it's going to benefit you going forward. So it's going to create pain and pleasure association, which is going to get you to make a decision. Now, if you really want to put this on steroids, you commit to a friend, you're going to make a decision. You commit by a specific deadline, and you get leverage over your own thinking by asking those questions. And when you create tension, what it does is it creates an element of urgency. And urgency is one of the well-known psychological triggers that's going to get you to act, going to get you to move. This is why, and we've all experienced it in marketing, people will say, hey, if you don't get in by midnight, doors close. And they won't be open for another month or the rest of the year. So make sure you get in early to avoid missing out. All they're really leaning on there is a psychological phenomenon designed to create some kind of urgency, which gets you to act. And you can apply the same principle to yourself and your own thinking as it relates to your performance in business. Now, if you've heard this and gone, wow, Jay, I love that, and I love these pocket coaching, I never knew about them, then if this is the first time you've heard them and you want to get notified, plus get access to all of the previous episodes, you can visit jaywilliamscoaching.com/pocket, where you can enter your name and email address, and we'll notify you about when new episodes are released. If this is the second or 22nd time of listening to this pocket coaching, I just want to say a big thank you for your loyalty. Thanks for your time, and I'll speak to you very, very soon. Take care.